Welcome, broadcasting the entirety of the Super Smash Bros. Community. This is Beyond the Metagame. I'm your host, Peon. This week, we're live from the Notre Dame. I'm joined, as always, by wonderful co-host, AV. AV, how you doing, big boy?
I'm staring at the ashen remains of this beautiful historical monument. I feel like I'm in a Dark Souls game.
Yeah, I actually saw that, I believe it was Assassin's Creed Unity took place in Paris, and they did this really one-for-one scan of the architecture of Notre Dame, which apparently is going to be used to help rebuild the Notre Dame.
No way. Is that actually true?
That's true.
That's
That's
so
true.
cool. That is
I won't
actually
pre-
awesome.
I won't pretend I know all the details, but I've seen the story so many times the last couple of days, that's awesome, man. It's awesome.
I mean, we have people 3D printing houses at this point, so I think once we have the technology, we'll be able to literally 3D print and resurrect all of our favorite historical monuments. It's kind of a crazy thought.
Yes, man. But as April the 15th will forever be known as the day that the Notre Dame caught fire, April 17th will be known as the day that patch 3.0 landed, AV.
Yeah, that will be the most important thing in history on April 17th. Yeah, definitely.
So we've played the patch. You and I both have. We've downloaded it. We spent a couple hours before recording today playing as Joker, and I don't want to get into it so far, but I'm really excited to talk about it, man.
Yeah, I'm really excited too. The patch I think was overall pretty good. I think it was really cool. Blew some expectations, met some expectations, and I think we're really going to get into that. But before we jump down that rabbit hole, I want to ask you, how was your week in Smash?
Dude, I've been having a lot of fun. I went to a couple locals, got second at both local I attended. Um, all around had a good time. I brought my girlfriend along. She was in town. We live in different cities at the moment, and I dragged her to one of the tournaments. She's like, "Oh yeah, she's a trooper about it." But just to include her and to make her have some fun, I was like, "All right, Courtney, you can choose my characters." And she was boning me, dude. She's like, "Okay, play a Pokemon trainer." I'm like, "I don't have a Pokemon trainer, Courtney." She's like, "Well, you shouldn't have given me that power." And then I just start bodying fools with Pokemon Trainer.
Well, okay, all right.
It was fun, and I realized that Pokemon Trainer is super fun. I wish I had practiced him before playing with Bracket, but it worked out. And going forward, I actually want to spend some time learning the trainer. I had so much fun.
Yeah, I mean, so much intricate complexities to the character, lots of depth, lots of cool situational moves, kind of a character for every situation. It seems like your kind of character actually.
Yeah, it's cool. Every time you get bored of one character, you just swap around. It's definitely great for people with short attention spans.
Yeah,
like
what
myself.
character crisis? Just
yeah. But Amy, what about your week, man? What were you up to?
My week was very smashless, actually. I've been really busy with work, but I have been playing on Wi-Fi, playing some of the listeners in the Discord. I think that's probably the most interaction I've had with Smash, and I had a lot of fun playing some late night games with Discord, and excitedly jumping on to get the patch today, which we will get into very soon.
Sure thing, man. Before we talk about that, I do want to address some housekeeping things real quickly on the top of things. Just as you mentioned, AV, BTM has a Discord. Our Discord community is ever growing. There's never been a better time to join. Come in, talk to AV, talk to me, talk to I, either way, and play with us. Also, BTM has launched a Patreon recently, and we've already seen a lot of support. So first of all, thank you to all of our initial Patreon supporters. But why should you support us? AV and I are releasing a monthly podcast called Beyond the Metagame, where we'll talk about everything. We'll talk about everything but Smash Bros. If you like just hearing AV and I talk about stuff, you'll like that show.
Yeah.
Beyond that,
yeah, I mean,
go ahead.
we had to get more meta than Beyond the Metagame.
We had to. And BTM also has a YouTube channel. We've been posting some kind of sillier stuff, some VOD reviews. If you don't listen on YouTube, consider checking it out. And of course, we've also launched some merchandise. If you want to show off those big, juicy biceps under the hot, dry sun of summer, go ahead and check it out. The link's in the description and the show notes.
Peon, I'm excited to talk about patch 3.0 with you, and I think we're going to get some really cool discussions about all the new content. So let's get right into it.
Welcome back to Beyond the Metagame. This week, AV and I are here to talk about patch 3.0. We're here to talk about Joker. It has arrived today as of the time of recording. And at the time of listening, you will have probably already messed around with the patch. AV, what are your first impressions, man?
First impressions are cool. I mean, it's like not. I think Joker's super fun. I think they've done a lot of the right things with characters, regardless of what their motivation was for balancing. I haven't checked out Stage Builder yet, but I mean, people have started uploading offensive content to, which is exactly what I'd expect.
Yes, yes. I've already seen some questionable choices prominently being displayed on Nintendo's own advertising.
I mean, but well, my one of my interactions with the patch aside, I kind of want to ask you, like, before going into the patch, like, what were your expectations for it?
Yeah, I was really hoping that this patch would sort of be the second wind of Smash Ultimate. Like, you're playing a sport and you get super tired at the beginning of the first quarter, but then you hit your stride and all of a sudden you no longer feel your exhaustion. I was kind of hoping that patch 3.0 would be that sort of baptism, that rebirth that we needed. And I don't think that this patch was that, right? What was I expecting? What did I hope would fulfill that role I described? I hope that they would bring in some side modes, some break the targets, board the platforms, like home run contest, those kind of little bite-sized replayable content drops that make Smash what it is, from a franchise perspective. And I was also hoping that they would be a little bit more radical with the character changes this time around, and they weren't. But we can get into that later. Av, what were your expectations?
I also thought they were going to be more radical with the character changes, and I'm very surprised at that they kind of stuck with the patch 2.0 balance philosophy. While I think we were really excited that they were being more held back on balance back in 2.0, I agree. I think at this point it would be kind of interesting to see things shake up, especially because we have seen some of the we have seen the cream rise to the top in terms of what the best characters in this game are. I think we're pretty close to knowing what the top 10 is, and I think that's very clear with most competitive games. I mean, we've now hit the 4-month mark into Ultimate, so I think we are starting to see the meta stabilize a bit. And in terms of single player content, obviously, I have not been silent about my love for Break the Targets, and you, in the same vein, have not been quiet about your love for Board the Platforms. I would have loved to see Break the Targets. Something that I really wanted to see was customizable, stage builder esque Break the Targets.
Could you imagine how many hours of replayability that would give?
And honestly, I don't think it would be that much more of an engineering effort than making stage builder. Which is, I mean, maybe it is. Maybe I'm ignorant of some concepts in the back end that I don't know about.
Well, you're a
And
software guy. I'll take your word
yeah,
for it.
yeah. I mean, like at least from what I'm thinking, I think it would just be such a quality addition to the game. I mean, even stage builder board the platforms would be kind of cool, but like make I think that would actually it would add a lot of depth to the single player experience of the game, which is what a lot of people sometimes complain about with Smash.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think that those kind of experiences that developers provide where they give the players the tools to create their own fun are so important in today's like video game ecosystem. I think like uh in Mario Odyssey you had that like Mario and Luigi balloon world mode,
Yeah.
right? And that kind of thing, I mean I didn't love it, but I definitely wasted a few hours. It definitely like makes that game more complete. And yeah, that stuff is so important, and Smash is such a good vessel for that kind of game design. And I am disappointed that they haven't capitalized on it.
Yeah, I mean, to be more literal with it, I mean, Super Mario Maker is another is another great example of that.
Right.
But I do think that they have given us this to some extent with Stage Builder. I just don't think it's like it will be as I feel like there will be like a few really hardcore Stage Builder fanatics that will kind of make all of the really cool stages for us, and then I think we will have some fun trying out like the really high effort stages.
There's always one guy at every local who's like, "Hey guys, everybody come here." Like after everybody gets out, there's like top fours happening, whatever. They're like, "Hey, everybody, stop playing your friendlies. I have this sweet game mode. It's called M Night Shyamalan, and it's like there's 6 platforms, and you have to play Jigglypuff, and like they have all these like crazy, and it's funny. I'm glad that like those people are being catered to right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of catering to the public, I, what was your reaction when you just like took ages for you to download this patch?
Yeah, let's let's take one step back. I want to hear your experience on actually downloading the damn thing. Like what where were you at? I just want to hear your version of events.
So I was like super excited. I got home right at 6 o'clock. I knew that Nintendo would not have it ready at 6 o'clock, and I was super hopeful. I got my sriracha mac and cheese ready. I was like I was super excited, and then I ate my mac and cheese, and then I got into this huge food coma. And after waiting for like an hour, I just passed out for like an hour. And I was like,
Wait. Your version of events is you came home, it didn't download initially, and then you just ate sriracha mac and cheese and passed out.
yeah,
That is the most like dad story ever. Maybe there's no way you haven't conceived one and or several children. That sounds like really like middle aged father.
look, if I have, I don't know about him. So,
Oh Jesus! I'm s-
but I think I can. And then I woke up and it still wasn't working. So I was just like, I was super dazed. I was really tired, and and then at some point it just worked, and I wasn't even happy. I was just like, all right.
That's the worst story I ever heard.
What, do you have some kind of
My
like beautiful Homer like style epic about this experience?
like some Iliad Odyssey sort. No. My story. If it's like Homer, it's like Homer Simpson. It was really stupid. It was me. I came home. Well, no, I came home from work. Got home at like 5. Right, I did some errands after work. Came home. I was super juiced. Right, I had to choose between going to my local or sitting home and waiting for the patch to drop and just playing the patch. So I said, you know what? I stay at home. I want to play as Joker and I want to like see the new patch, prepare for tonight's episode. And it's like 5 o'clock, so I rush over to my like complex's little gymnasium. So I'm lifting some weights and I'm doing some workouts, and I'm kind of getting tired. It was supposed to be a rest day, but I had some time to kill and I was bored, so I ran over to the gym anyway. And I was just like looking for an excuse to stop working out. I was like looking at the clock. I was like, okay, it's like 5:45. I should get home, so I could download the patch. And so I leave the gym. I get home. It's like just the clock strikes 6, and it isn't working. It isn't working. I'm like, oh no. no. What's happening here? I checked Twitch. All the top players are having the same problem as me. So I'm like, you know what? My, it must just not be live yet. So I went back to the gym and I looked at Twitch. I made the mistake of opening Twitch again, and I saw like a couple of the players were playing it. So I'm like, oh, it must have gone live. And I come back and it still doesn't work. And I'm like, dude, Sakurai, please. So that was my experience. It was one of heartbreak and
What?
distrust.
Wait, oh, you just made that really also mediocre and boring story. So there's nothing that much better about your story.
No, you're right. My story was not much better.
So, I love the way that you framed it. I thought something like crazy was gonna happen.
No, really, no. It was dumb. It was a really boring story.
All right, well, thank you. And like, I want to.
My story had a distinct lack of sriracha mac and cheese that yours had.
Yeah, it was good. By the way, it was really solid. I and then when I finally got in, like I said, I was just like super over it. I was just like, great, like all my hype is gone. I just passed out for a while, but then I started playing Joker, and the thing is, my first like impression of it was that he sucks. I was like,
Really? What?
I was like,
Well, you hopped right into a match, huh? You didn't go into training mode. You just went right into a quick play match.
No, I went right into an arena match with some people from the Discord, and I played Joker Ditto, and I just felt it felt super underwhelming, even though I was kind of moving with him, like everything just it felt like Sheik. It felt like I was playing Sheik. Like all of the attacks were like doing like 7% damage. Not there were no like really meaningful combos. But then I started to kind of play him more, and I think there is a lot of unseen potential that obviously I wouldn't see, but just by just playing him for the first time.
Yeah. The first thing I did was I went into training mode and I kind of just like labbed out. Okay, these are combos off of grab. These are some potential kill setups, and I kind of had a good idea going into my first like online matches with him. And I think he's really good. I don't think he's top tier. And again, this is like, I mean, he's been out for like 2 hours, right?
Yeah.
Um, so it's kind of well more than that by now, but he hasn't been out for long. So who knows? Some crazy stuff could be found, you know, and discovered concerning Joker in like the next week, next month that could completely make him super dominant, or maybe the opposite, maybe terrible. But my first impressions, keep in mind these are very early. I think he's good, but not amazing. I think that his persona is so strong. Like when he has his persona up, his smash attacks kill so early, and he like his nair sends people into tech chase situations, and you can tech chase with up smash, kind of similar to Fox. And he just has a lot of tools that I think are pretty great, but they're a lot more situational than some of the top tiers that are just like good all the time with no drawbacks.
Yeah. There's definitely kind of this push and pull feeling when you play him. I feel like the specials are super underwhelming when you don't have your persona active. Although it's actually fairly easy to get your persona active. Like you just press down B and then you just counter like a strong attack. It's just almost there. I've seen people get it like within 15 like 15 seconds of the match starting, and then Fair and Bear start doing 20% each, and then like they can kind of mess you up. But I think Joker's base character is really weak.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think that if he didn't have the persona mechanic, like if you always had to stay as the base Joker, he'd be a low tier character for sure.
I think that's the
But the
point. Yeah,
right,
I think that's the point.
but that's the cool thing. I was like, he's actually really fun to play because you have that kind of that it's almost like Cloud, but with Cloud, you're incentivized just to sit back and charge limit and to not interact. But with Joker, you can't really, running away isn't going to give you your persona. So you just have to fight, not take too many risks. and then once you get your persona, you can really just start to unload on people, and it's fun. It's cool too because like limit, you just kind of use it once, you know.
Mm.
You just use a special, but the persona sticks around for a while. So you're kind of you have these two phases of combat. It's almost like Shulk where you change, you know, your attributes, but in a much more intricate, nuanced way, I would say. And I really I think it's a lot of fun to control. I think Joker's a blast to play.
That part I think they nailed perfectly. I absolutely agree. I think when I don't feel, especially I don't feel like I'm camping to charge limit. I feel like I still have to be interactive. I have to counter moves. Maybe the only thing that's really not interactive is you can get the persona from just getting beat up a bunch. And
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
I think that similar to Cloud Limit. I think that was one of the gripes with Cloud Limit. But the thing is, once you get it, like you feel like going in. It's the other player that starts running away and starts getting pressured. So I think what what you have to realize as a Joker player is that when people start running away and playing more defensive, you have this beautiful opportunity to push people into panic situations. So when we start thinking about who is going to be performing really well with Joker, I really think it's players who know how to like extract panic options from players and then cash in on them with like with really strong reads.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Almost, you know, like Falcon in that sense. I think that Joker's also pretty technical. Like one of his best setup tools that I've just, you know, I didn't discover it, but that I've just kind of been playing with is the first hit of his forward air. You know, when you're landing, you can do like a short hop fastball forward air,
Yeah.
and just the initial hit of it will pop people up like with set knockback, and you can follow up with like a lot of aerials and you know he has a lot of like kind of technical things that you can do where you can get a lot out of him. I think if you like, and plus with his gun, which the fact that it's called gun is hilarious to me. With his gun, you can do like a pseudo kind of wave dash. If you cancel it and dash forward into the ground, you slide super far and can act like immediately out of it. And so, I mean, it's only been a few hours, like we said, and there's already been a bunch of cool kind of movement tech and a lot of depth to the character that those kind of tech fiends, I think, will really enjoy maximizing his potential.
Yeah, that's why I think my initial evaluation of him is purely purely feel based. Like I mean, the thing is, that I play Donkey Kong, a character who everything that you like, if you hit any move with Donkey Kong, it feels visceral and powerful. Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
there's this like you definitely get like more dopamine per hit. Your DPH is through the roof with
uh,
Donkey Kong, but with Joker,
yeah.
it's definitely more nickel and dimey.
I think my
Yeah.
urine was found positive with DPH.
Well,
I got denied. I was gonna work at the Red Robin, but they were like, "This ain't clean." I'm sorry, but
I'm sorry. That just sounds so bad on so many levels. I'm sorry.
have you ever been to the Red Robin?
Yes. Wait, no, I haven't actually, which is funny. I've been to a Sonic, which is kind of like it's like a Red Robin, like it's like one, right?
No, no. Sonic's like a fast. Red Robin's like a Chili's or something. It's like on that tier.
Okay, then I'm glad I
Sonic's like
haven't.
a drive-through. Yeah, no, no, you're not missing much. But yeah, I gotta say, none of their employees have any DPH in their urine.
Okay, after that very insightful comment, I'm glad to know that. Thanks, Peon. But like so, I just to go into just kind of wrap this Joker stuff up. Did like where who do you think like just tell me a top player who's going to do really well with Joker? I'm kind of interested to
Oh,
see your
oh,
opinion on that.
that's a good one. Okay, the cop out answer is like Tweak and MKLeo because they're good with everybody.
Hmm.
Um, I think it'll be kind of the same kind of crowd that is good with like the Peaches of the world. That's good with like the Bayos of the world. Like all those guys, like the Sam Soras, the Captain Zacks, um, the people that are really technical and like pushing their character to its limits. I think will do well, and I also think like maybe like the allies of the world and the the fatalities, the people that like are the antis, the people that like get those hard reads when they need to. Um, you know, like you were saying, Joker with the persona can just exhaust people's defensive options and punish super hard. So any of those read based players will do great.
Yeah, so you kind of covered a handful of players, and I actually my two were in that. My two were Anti and Captain Zach. I think
Oh, really?
yeah, yeah.
Great minds think alike, AV. Wow.
Yeah, I think I really want to see them doing cool things with the character. Maybe they won't vibe with it, and someone else will pick up the character. But I'm really excited. I think Joker, regardless of competitive viability, looks awesome. Brought with him some awesome music and a really cool stage. So this has set the bar really high for DLC. And if we're gonna get stuff like this in the next 4 rounds, like I think Smash Ultimate is really really
Whew.
gearing up to be something amazing.
Yeah, they set the bar. Like if here's the thing, the rest of the DLC characters can either be like Joker or like Piranha Plant.
Oh no.
So we'll have to find out. But yeah, just some other little accessory things I love about Joker is his end screen. Wow, I can't talk. His end screen animation when he wins his victory screen,
Mhm.
when he just kind of it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful. It's just like I haven't played Persona 5, but I watched my roommate play most of it, and it exactly imitates like the end of battle animation in Persona 5. It's so cool.
Yeah, and do you know what's even cooler? When you finish the game with Joker's final smash, it just uses the final screen of the final smash, and then that it goes straight into the victory screen, like using that as the background.
Oh yeah, I heard somebody talk about that, or
Yeah.
like I saw the title on Reddit or something, but I didn't actually look into it. That's so cool. I need to check that out.
Yeah, it's super cool. I think everything about they nailed the aesthetic of the character. I think very similar to, although it was kind of masked by how I guess that well the vitriol around Bayonetta, but I think Bayonetta also kind of like captured the essence of her character from her games really well, and I think they nailed Joker like to a T. So I'm really excited to see what they can do with more characters, and I overall I'm pretty pleased. I'm glad that they didn't put out something that was very clearly blatantly overpowered. I mean, although I think at this point no one thought Cloud or Bayonetta was that strong. Like I think like three or 4 hours after release, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, people thought that Cloud was pretty bad for a while. They're it's Little Mac with a sword, and Bayo's initial reception is actually it's a little fuzzy for me, to be honest. I don't really remember the first couple hours of that. But AV, real quick, who's your pick for the next DLC fighter?
Who's my pick for the next DLC fighter? Obviously, you know my emotional the pick that I'm emotionally tied to, and that's Funky Kong. Although I don't think it's going to happen because I don't know if they're going to release Echo. I don't think they're going to release Echoes. I think all of them are going to be standalones. That being said, I'd really like to see Crash Bandicoot, and I think
Whoa! I didn't know you've played those
I
games.
have. I have played Crash Team Racing, and I've played the original Crash Bandicoot for the PlayStation.
Oguruma.
I think the character has a lot of potential, and I mean, I think either Crash Bandicoot or maybe even Spyro. I think one of those PlayStation heroes might
Yeah.
like might squiggle their way into Smash.
Squiggle their way.
I don't know. I don't know why I used that word, but
I
it
never.
felt right.
I've talked to you so many times. I've never heard you use the verb to squiggle in my entire life.
Yeah, you get to see a brand new side of me when I. Well,
For me,
yeah.
I think that like the PlayStation's seen enough representation in my mind, like Joker, Cloud, Solid Snake. It is time for the Microsoft fans to get their their day in the sun. Okay, I want to see Banjo Kazooie, but even more so, I want to see the Master Chief. Man, I grew up with Nintendo and Xbox.
Oh
I
no.
want to see the Chief, baby. I want to see him
I think
finish the fight.
there's the same chance of getting Minecraft Steve as there is to get Master Chief, in my opinion.
See, oh, that's a risky proposition. Okay, if you could have the oh man, I don't if I could choose between having the Master Chief and Minecraft Steve in the game or neither, I think I might go with neither. Nah,
Yeah,
I don't know.
what about
I'd have to think about that.
any Undertale characters? Oh, dude, what if we got Celeste in the
Her name is
game?
Madeline.
Madeline, sorry. Wait, what do I? All right,
Well, the game's called Celeste.
all right, sorry. I forgot the name of the main character. But yes, Madeline. What if we got Madeline from Celeste in the game? That would be kind of neat.
That'd be cool, but she doesn't really have like any
She
moves.
dashes.
Well, yeah, but everybody dashes in
But
Smash.
indie
No,
representation. Yeah.
I'd be super down.
Yeah.
I love that game and I love Madeline, but yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen.
Yeah, I agree. There's not enough to work with. I mean, you could pull like a duck hunt dog. Like that would like I think what Sakurai did with Duck Hunt Dog is ridiculous.
Or Game & Watch
I
or
mean, Game and Watch had a lot
any
to
of those
pull
guys.
from. Like there were a lot.
Wii Fit Trainer.
Yeah, Wii Fit Trainer. That's ridiculous. But I think some indie or Microsoft representation, I agree would be really good. Which is why Banjo seems to line up really well. So I think that's a huge likelihood, and I think I would not be disappointed if that were the case. So
Cool, man.
yeah, I think pivoting a little here, I think we want to talk a bit about the balance changes that came around with 3.0.
Yeah, well, we didn't talk about the Memento stage
Oh, it's a cool
at
stage.
all. Cool stage. It changes colors with the music.
All right, there you go.
Should it be legal? Probably not.
I think that's about they're all there is to say about the stage.
But balance changes. So now this is the interesting thing. They continued along the path of patch 2.0 where they said, look, the game's in a pretty healthy place. Let's make subtle changes. Let's dial things back or up slowly and see what happens. And I'm a little disappointed by that fact. I'll say that straight up.
Mm-hmm.
I think when patch 2.0 dropped, the game was too young. We didn't really know that much about the meta yet. Things were still forming, people's ideas and opinions were still changing. And so I was really happy. I mean, you can go back and listen. You and I were both happy that they took a really subtle first pass. But I think that some of the top tiers in this game are just absolutely ridiculous. The Peaches of the world, the Olimars, the Pichus, the Lucinas, the Foxes. There's some very, very, very strong characters in this game. And I was surprised that none of the top tiers were toned down at all, really, beyond a couple here and there. Wolf's down smash, notably, was nerfed. But even then, it was nerfed like it kills 5% later than it used to. And
Yeah.
Pichu's hurt boxes were increased in size, but generally the top tiers kind of came away unscathed.
So there's two ways to look at this. One way to look at this is that maybe Wi-Fi performance is absolutely not indicative of pro performance, and that's what they're basing most of their balance decisions off of. I really hope that this is not the case, but although I absolutely believe that it is, considering their changes to K Rule in patch 2.0. Although they have reneged on that and they've gone and buffed him in this patch. And then the latter explanation that I believe is actually would be really nice if it was the case is that they believe that buffing is superior to nerfing in balance philosophy. I know a lot of backseat gamers and backseat balancers and armchair balancers love to use this phrase that buffs are superior to nerfs when balancing, and like how like Brawl Minus and PM did an incredible job of just making everyone OP and everyone felt great. And I think the reality lies somewhere in between the two. And I think what they're doing is fine, although there is some pretty obnoxious stuff in this game, stuff like Pichu's F tilt, which hits people on ledge and kills and is safe on shield. Like I think like moves like that are not amazing for the game's health, especially on characters that are that have just like so many good tools that are safe. So that is just at least my first take on the balance philosophy.
Yeah, I think we agree. I think we agree. I'm more in the favor of buffing bad characters before, or at least prioritizing the buffs before you prioritize the nerfs. Generally speaking, but some stuff it's like, come on, guy. Does Pichu's F tilt really need to hit through everything, go below the ledge, and kill it like 70? Or does it need to do that? I don't really think so. Uh,
Yeah,
but
I really enjoy that like Inkling wasn't nerfed. I don't think Inkling really deserved a nerf in their current state. Like I think if you buff I think you can buff people around Inkling, and even though Inkling is a very strong character.
I think Inkling's perhaps like perfectly balanced in terms of is a really good character, but isn't super broken. Like if you nerfed any one part of her kit, it would hit her really hard. Like if you nerfed her roller, she would suck. If you nerfed anything that made her good, like she kind of everything that she has is really good, but she kind of needs all of it individually.
Yep.
Whereas there's some top tiers like even like a Lucina. Like, do all of her moves need to kill? Like the forward air and back air and F smash and I don't know. It's I suppose the philosophy that I wish that they would take into account is give characters a similar amount of options. I don't think that like Samus should only be able to kill with like charge shot when top like Peach can kill with you know well Peach is an example.
So that's interesting because the idea of option drought is I think something that has plagued Smash for a long time. I think the amount of options and like kill options and combo starters is has been directly on obviously correlated to to the basically the success of characters in the entire Super Smash Brothers series. And I think it's cool I think in this one case it's cool if you can just give a bunch of the low tiers more options, and then suddenly you have this really complex and intricate game where everyone has like a bunch of different options and a bunch of different things they can do. However, there is one character that is entirely orthogonal to this beautiful balance philosophy.
Or orthogonal.
It's perpendicular.
Okay.
So and that's it, and that's Olimar. Olimar is like the opposite of having like a ton of options. All of Olimar's options are just good. Like Olimar doesn't have like that many options. Olimar just starts combos with down tilt and up smash, and then just kills with and then just kills with like stuff like blue up throw and random purple backers. Nothing about Olimar's like options is ridiculous. It's just the character is so overloaded. Like and so I think toning down a character like that and actually giving Olimar more options, but then toning down power on some of the really simple stuff is I think what they should go with.
Yeah, I think that's what's fun about Smash is when you can kind of imprint your personality and your like ideas onto your character. But there's some characters like think about I don't know who's a good example of this, Little Mac, right? Where all you can really do is run around and land like tilts and smash attacks. You can't really jump.
Yeah.
You're very limited in your game plan. And some people like the simplicity of the character and characters like him, but I think that more options is generally correlates, at least for me, into more fun.
Mhm.
That's why I like top tiers, is because usually, like, think about like Melee Fox. He's the you know the quintessential example of this, where he can run on a laser. You can every fox you see is super different because there are laser foxes, there are defensive foxes, there are really technical foxes, they're really strong punish game foxes, and because he has so many options, he can also have so many styles, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of the top tiers have that. Like I think like Mario, I think Fox and Smash Ultimate is a good example of that. I think Pichu is a good example of that. But there's a lot of characters where it feels like they can't do anything.
Yeah, I mean, my favorite melee example is actually Marth because you can. like you can pick up Marth as a low level player and do well by just forward smashing and just throwing out sword attacks. But then as you learn more of Marth's options and you start picking up like all of these crazy like these crazy like intricate things like dare edge cancels, that the ones that that make Zane look so crazy, or just learning how to like pivot F smashing, which also like which something that like Pew Pew uh pushed forward in the meta. I think it's just super cool to see that a character can just be played at so many levels while also retaining all of these options. And I think it is ridiculous to hold that expectation for 75 plus characters.
Sure.
Yeah.
I do concede that.
I think I absolutely agree with you in the sense that in an ideal world we have all like this beautiful selection of characters where like a lot of there's a few ones that are reasonable to pick up, but then when you master them they become really cool. Although I think this what we have right now I think is pretty awesome. I think the character diversity in competitive events is awesome. I think we're reaching the point where we're definitely seeing new characters pop up that we don't really see. The fact that T, a Pac-Man player, recently performed extremely well at Prime Saga, the most recent Smash Major,
Right.
shows that there's just a lot of diversity in this game, and I think we're getting close to something that's really awesome in the meta.
I agree. No, I think the meta, the diversity is there. I think that's great. Um, I just wish that now that we have so much data, they'd be a little bit more aggressive in their tuning.
Hmm. I agree.
I think, and I think you're right. I think they've said it themselves. Nintendo being that they're going to be tuning based on online data, right? And I guess we're just going to have to accept that. That said, if you can prove to me that you've won 100 games straight on Elite Smash with Olimar, I will send you $5. All right. So, hey, a whopping 5 bones.
That is
And Abraham Lincoln. Wait, who's on the 5?
That's
Is it
fine. I
Abraham?
think it is. I'm pretty sure it's
We'll
Abraham.
we'll go with Abraham, the great emancipator. But beyond that, another addition into this patch, which cracked me up, was Smash World. And Smash World, for the sake of the show, I downloaded the Nintendo Switch Online app on my cell phone, and I opened up Smash World, which is now a part of this app. And actually, it looked pretty cool. Like you log in and you could see different videos that people have posted using like the new video editor within Smash. Um, you can see like you can manage your spirit team. I really wasn't able to get that to work. I am like maybe I'm just too old for this. I don't know. But you can also look at people's stages and you can download their stages
That's pretty
and put
neat.
them onto your Switch.
That's
Yeah,
really
it's
cool.
cool.
Yeah, that's nice.
And you can look up videos based on like
And
stage
character, right?
or
Yeah.
characters. Yes. And it's pretty cool. I was like browsing the stages that people had created. And like this first one I saw was just a giant swastika. I'm like, dude, Nintendo, I don't see that coming, man. But it's crazy, man. Would I recommend downloading this app? No. Probably not, but it was kind of fun. I don't know. I enjoyed my foray into it so that you guys didn't have to.
I mean, if it's
But
one thing, Nintendo knows how to make a really really sexy UI, but I mean, I don't know if they really know how to make something that'll appeal to. Maybe it will actually. Maybe it's like we see like the majority of the Smash community doesn't really interact like competitively or thing. Like it like opens up the app and it just loves it. So like maybe we're like super minorities in this, but like I think it's a little whack.
yeah,
I think it's a little whack.
you know what, viewers, listeners, AV, my co-host, I encourage you guys download it, give it a look. I think it's like a funny 3 minutes, and tell me if my prediction was wrong. Did you guys find any value out of this? I didn't, but I don't know. I laughed at a couple of things. Um, but yeah, it was cool.
Yeah.
It's cool,
Yeah, that's a cool
I
experience.
guess.
I mean, speaking of what you said with the videos, we got that new video editor. I think someone joked on Reddit that they actually brought Windows Movie Maker to Smash, the newest challenger that no one actually expected.
Yeah, so the hardest boss fight in all of Smash Ultimate is figuring out how to use Windows Movie Maker.
Yeah, it's
I'm
really.
telling you, as a kid who was like really into making like videos when he was when he
Mhm.
was young, I gotta say Windows Movie Maker was the bane of many of my like weekend afternoons.
There's gone, just absorbed into the void that is.
I swear it would just swallow my footage up and deposit it in like another realm,
Beautiful.
never to be retrieved again.
Yeah, but I actually think that it's what they've done is cool. I don't think people are going to use it to make like really really serious montages, but I can see like kids who are like 14 or 15 years old like putting together their clips and using like the nice transitions and the clipping functionalities to just make a nice little mini clip that just to show off to their friends. I think that that's a really good example of content that will continue to give value throughout the game's lifespan. I know that we kind
I
of dogged on Nintendo a bit there, but I think that there is some value there.
Yeah, I completely agree. I completely agree. I think like a lot of people because we take it for granted. I mean, I have a capture card, right? So I just don't need this. But 99% of people don't have a capture card, right?
Right.
And that's important. Like giving us the tools to make like a cute little like you know few-minute video of our clips. Like that's really cool. Actually, I bet like some montage editors are going to get their start due to this feature.
Yeah, and that would be really cool. I mean, what we have always professed is that the more Smash content, the better. I mean, it's gonna be. I mean, we're not gonna get like the most high quality montages, and actually, maybe we're gonna move away from these like ridiculously over edited montages. Actually, if we all just use the in game Smash montage editor, sorry, and not have like ridiculous amounts of lens flare and zoom ins, and have like having like 45 seconds of watching like Yoshi taunt, like and then zooming and getting every angle.
Zooming in. It's always the one where like someone's walking across the
Yeah,
stage and they like
exactly.
change the camera to make like a cinematic.
Oh my god. I mean, I know that there's like some people who like legitimately find that like very interesting and suspense building, but honestly, like I'm super jaded by it. I just think back to Call of Duty montage parodies and stuff like that. Like I just can't take them seriously.
Yeah. I want to see like a montage that's like just super out of left field, like some sort of like artsy like French movie or something, like where there's like a like could someone please make like a romantic comedy montage? Like where you have like there's like a plot, people fall in love.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah,
serious. Like let's like
I don't know. We have like
people on go ahead.
yeah, like Eat Pray Love with like Wa- Wario, Zelda, and Peach. I don't know. Like,
Yes. The Notebook, but yeah, like Cam Falcon's Ryan Gosling.
oh my god, yeah. I think that would actually make me more excited than seeing any overheaded normal montage. But
Yeah, and
yeah,
the montages are always called like Eclipse or like Midnight. Like they're always like some edgy. Like just give me a montage. I just want to see some cool clips. I don't want to. I don't know. You get what I'm saying?
yeah. I mean, wasn't your
That,
I mean, your montage, your famous montage was called Intent. That's pretty edgy.
it was a mini
It was the
Taj.
mini Taj. Okay, then.
It's like a completely different genre.
Oh, okay. I'm not experienced
Uh,
in the mini Taj. I'm not a mini Taj connoisseur, so you'll have to excuse me.
well, I am so. But yeah, I think we should talk a little bit about like I don't want to go into the patch notes real
Sure.
properly in depth. I mean, I think that there's a lot to dig into, and I don't want to. I think it'll be boring to read the whole thing out.
Yeah.
I do want to brush over some highlights,
Mhm.
and one big change I've seen kind of across the board is shields have been buffed in general, especially when it comes to projectiles, right? Like so many different projectiles were listed saying, made it easier to be penalized for, or sorry, what was the acronym? It's like reduced power against
Yep.
shields or something.
Yep.
And that was kind of the most common change made throughout this entire patch.
Mhm.
And that's kind of cool. It's going to nerf the amount of shield stun that projectiles do on shields, and I like it, man. You'll be able to approach projectile users a little bit, easier, more easily, rather.
Yep.
And I think I love that, man. I think it's a good change for the meta.
Yeah, as a heavy player with no projectiles in my kit, this is music to my ears. Like I think that everything about like making my shield better, making shield grabs better,
Oh
making
no.
approaches with shield better, like that is everything I could have asked for. So I think this patch is definitely gonna indirectly buff heavies with limited approach options. I don't see I everything in this patch from what I've seen is gonna make DK better, which is cool. I think
Cool for you.
it is
Cool
cool.
for you and like three other people that play DK.
Yeah, it is really sad how few people play DK now. I think I may be one of the only solo DK mains in my region, and it's like, and I live in NorCal, which is it's a big region. There's
It's a
like
big
not that
region,
many.
yeah.
Everyone who plays DK is always like looking off for a different character. But I mean, you got to push it. We got to work with what we can. But
We don't gotta. You just,
hey, we do,
you
dude.
just
We do.
you're a loyalist. I respect it,
Yeah,
Amy.
yeah.
Believe me. I would go to war with you because of your loyalty. I would marry you right now because of the loyalty you displayed to this
All
to
right.
this
Well,
gorilla.
all right.
But
Let's go to Vegas.
I'm down. Amy, that'd be a hell of a bonus episode if me and you just got married.
The boys go get married in Vegas.
Boop 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 boop.
Next time I'm beyond the metagame.
Yeah, that'll be the first Patreon exclusive episode. But some other big changes, it looked from if you just scrolled through it that Mewtwo received a very large buff. A lot of his things got tweaked. Specifically, uh, it's a lot of his things got changed in little ways. Like his up air got increased attack power, maintains launch distance. His up tilt, same thing.
Shadow Ball got a little stronger.
Uh,
I actually don't think anything in this patch will will actually make Mewtwo that much better, in my
well,
opinion.
that's what the Mewtwo. I checked the Mewtwo Discord, and they're
Yeah,
already saying, "Yeah, he's pretty much the
yeah,
same."
he's gonna be
Like
exactly the
it didn't
same.
change
Yeah,
much.
I don't think anything really. It has to be something that, like, again, remember what we talked about in terms of options. We need to get it. The real buffs are when you give a character like a new option to work with, which I want to come to Sheik. Makes me really excited. As a former Sheik player, I might start picking Sheik up again just to have fun with, because we got some new down tilt hitbox changes. We got fair hitbox increase. We got a decreased charge time on needles. I think all of these things are super cool. I think a lot of this was definitely stuff that goes in the right direction. I think there's less cooldown on the flurry of blows on the jab. I don't think Sheik's gonna be that good, no, but I think a lot of these changes are in the right direction.
Yeah, yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. I, I'm happy to see it. Like what I really like was in all the Smash Four patches. What would happen is they would just like change the angles on moves and throws and stuff,
Hmm.
and it would very much allow for new combos to be discovered and old combos to become irrelevant. And we're not really seeing too much of that. Like we're not seeing angles change in these patch notes. They're just kind of increasing knockback. They're increasing vulnerability or you know
I mean, to that
range.
end, I don't want to have to rediscover my character every time a new patch comes around. I actually think that's good. Unless I mean, there's
I do too.
huh?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I actually think that's fine. I think there's only like some really bad offenders of weird knockback in Smash Four when they fixed it, and that and like I think I think some things not just like them changing like Sheik's down throw kill confirms in Smash 4 was something that was necessary. But overall changing angles of moves is really strange unless you're opening up new options. I think closing doors on old options makes the character feel different, and it probably just feels weird as a as a player of that character.
That's interesting. Well, yeah, I definitely agree with you that like when I see that my angles get changed, I definitely like clench. I'm like, oh no, what's gonna
Yeah.
happen? And in fact, like they actually changed some angles in the previous patch in 2.0. Like Inkling's roller, when it hit somebody that was already buried, the angle of that changed, and it used to be an up air, now it's like a forward air, right? And to follow up with, and those kind of little changes are kind of annoying to adjust to. But those are the changes that give you the most like options and advantage. Like, let's say, you know, you give a character a combo starter throw now, you make the angle to where you can follow up with an aerial. Like, that's a pretty big change for a character. That's an entire like new opening to their kit. Like if you give Fox a combo out of a grab,
Oh man,
he
yeah.
is the best character in the game.
Fox absolutely
Uh,
untouched in this patch, by the way. That yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. It's same thing with Falco. Although the Wolf's down, we said earlier, Wolf's down smash got nerfed and his blaster got nerfed just due to the shield changes.
But
But
I mean, I think if it's just a absolute positive, like you're just going from a character's throw doing nothing to a character's throw linking to other things. I think that's awesome because then you're giving players of that character some new stuff to discover. There's new stuff to lab, new stuff to figure out. I think I think where it becomes more of a gray area is when you mess with is that let's just say it's like a character's throw that used to work in a certain way, or like you said with your roller angle, it's like it used to work in a certain way and now you have to rediscover it working in a different way. So it's not necessarily giving you more options, it's just giving you different options, and whether or not they're good,
yeah,
it feels like a lateral change that makes you play the character differently. But overall I think in the grand scheme of things, they've been good about that for better or for worse, I guess, from your perspective too. Like there hasn't been anything to open up new horizons. It's just been a lot of we got a good thing going. Let's keep this going.
yeah. And that right there sums up the patch 3.0 philosophy to me is that they don't want to mess this up. They like where the game's at and they're going to keep it that way. I mean, that's at least what I presume. And so, like, what kind of implications does that have for us as like competitive players? I mean, I know that I saw Captain Zach tweet recently where he said, "Look, guys, I just kind of want to play the game and have fun. Who knows? Everything could change at any time. So I'm just kind of having fun with the game until it settles down." And um, I definitely don't say that that's exactly my mindset, but I'm kind of in that same zone where it's like this game's still so young and I don't want to, pour my heart and soul into one character just to have them like completely changed or ruined,
Hmm.
right? But I mean, the precedent that's been set is that we shouldn't worry about that. I don't think any character is going to radically change, at least anytime soon.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the awesome part about playing a midish, lowish, mid low tier character, maybe mid tier, mid high. I don't know. I don't know. People, everyone has crazily different opinions on where DK is, but I'm really like confident going into patch notes that my character's not going to be nerfed. like that's like a nice part about it because like there's so many buggy things about the character. There's like, I mean, I don't really complain about him because I just love playing DK, but I know a lot of people who play the character. I mean, very rightfully so. I don't want to say that I'm like holier than thou, but like a lot of it's mostly just because I don't really take those things as seriously. But there's so many like random bugs that DK has with a lot of his moves that very rightfully so. A lot of pro players and a lot of enthusiasts of the character are really mad about. So I don't think my character's gonna get nerfed, which is cool. That being said, I want to make a prediction about the characters that I get the character archetype that's gonna get buffed the most from the patch. Although I think Heavy's benefited. I think the swordsman are absolutely going to be some of the best characters coming out of this patch, like without a doubt.
Yeah, it's crazy because none of them really have projectiles other than Corrin, who got buffed. Um, Big buff to Corrin. Um, and like Roy and Crom's grabs got buffed.
Lucina's too.
Yeah, Lucina's. It's like across the board, all the swordsmen in a very swordsman dominated meta, mind you,
Yep.
got a buff. So who knows why? Who knows how? But yeah, the swordies definitely got the most love this patch, I think. Yeah, like you said, because that shield
The
change,
shield
because
changed too.
projectiles are
Yeah.
less threatening these days. I in terms of how far that will go, we'll have to see. But I mean, that's at least like the implication of the patch notes.
Right. I mean, I'm obviously like because of the minor changes here and there, like maybe like the I'm just saying that's probably going to be the biggest recipient or the people are going to move the highest. If that's a large magnitude, I don't know. They're probably just going to be the largest benefactors of this patch. So basically, just to touch on the people that got like significant buffs, it would be Corrin, Sheik, Diddy Kong, Kirby, K. Rool. If you want to call Mewtwo's, I think you could throw Mewtwo in that bucket. I think none of these characters are going to see significantly more play. Maybe Diddy Kong. Some people think that Diddy Kong might see more play, but the characters that were nerfed significantly were Snake and Mega Man, in my opinion. Mega Man did get that buff to the up smash, but I think with the new shield changes and with the Leaf Shield getting nerfed again, I think we are going to see. I don't think we're going to see Mega Man drop off that much. I just think relatively Mega Man got hit pretty hard.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Snake too. The
Well,
Nikita, the Nikita got like
then
nerfed.
yeah, the Ariel Nikita. Thank the Lord.
That was,
No offense to my Snake players. Ariel Nikita is a problem. That I get hit by that so often. But yeah, no, I think that these patch notes, again, they're a little concerning to me. I don't think that they're being balanced with competitive play. But it could be a lot worse. I think the game's still in a pretty healthy spot, and maybe it'll take a while, but maybe patch 4.0, patch 5.0 every few months, they'll make these incremental changes, and maybe the game in a year from now is going to be in a really good place after a lot of little changes that will add up eventually.
mhm.
But this patch right here, not even just balance wise, but with the content added and in addition to the balance changes, minus Joker and all the Persona content, it wasn't a revolution. I don't think it's a huge deal going forward. I don't think we're gonna remember the 3.0 patch as this like crazy time unless Joker ends up being super dominant. But absent of that fact, I think that this patch will just kind of be a footnote on the grander story of Smash Ultimate.
I agree, and maybe that's exactly what Nintendo wanted. In terms of revolutionizing the game, I think for a lot of casual players, Stage Builder is going to be really awesome for them. I think maybe we're really opinionated about what we want, but I think that yeah, in terms of content, the game hasn't changed that much for me, and like you said, it probably hasn't changed that much for you either. So I agree. I don't think I'm gonna look back and say, okay, this was when Smash Ultimate really exploded again and basically revitalized my already admittedly fiery love for the game. So
Fiery love. Wow. I hope you tell it to me in
oh
Vegas,
yeah,
maybe.
that and more. we I think we've done a pretty good job of breaking down this patch. Do you got any like last notes for us, Peon?
I don't. I don't. Let's move on to questions. First one comes from Mason Clark. Mason Clark asks, what is the best way to adapt to a new character? Recently lost to a Pac-Man and had to adapt on the fly. Is there any tricks on adapting or for adapting on the fly? So I think what Mason's talking about is when you're playing up against someone where you have an unfamiliar matchup. with. Pac-Man's a good example of that kind of a character where not many people play Pac-Man, and his move set is so unique to him that that it's weird. You
Yeah,
have to kind of know the matchup to really do well against him.
I agree.
Av, what are your tips on this?
There's a few different situations that you can fall into. One of the most common ones, especially because the game has a ton of characters, is that both players don't know the matchup of each other. In this case, this is the most ideal scenario for adapting on the fly because stuff that's like really stuff that you get surprised by, you can theoretically avoid it easily next time because your opponent will be trying to spam these like surprise options on you because they know you've never seen them before. I think those are the situations in which, like, I think stuff when I first started playing against K Roll, I didn't know that when he did his little suction thing and he was sitting on a platform, you just press down to go through the platform. Like,
I think we all know the first time we got hit by that. Like, wait, what?
yeah, that was absolutely silly. But then you realize, okay, just don't get hit by that. And then it's like you think there's better advice than that, but no, it's like you just expect that they're gonna do it. They're sitting on the platform with the suction thing. It's like you've gotten hit by it once, but now you have this awesome opportunity because you know they're going to go for it again because you got hit by it once. Now, this is the pivotal part of this game is that when someone has positively reinforced themselves by landing a hit, you need to take note of that. Say this guy or this girl or this person got this got this like reinforcement from hitting me with something that they thought was like a mix up. Now you have this huge information going forward saying they're going to go for it again. I'm going to punish it. And making the most out of it and cashing in on that is what allows you to is basically the information you need to adapt on the fly. Obviously, there's a bunch of different nuances to this, but that's probably my favorite tip when looking at this.
Yeah, yeah. So just to consolidate that, uh, play it slow. Find out what tricks they have. Every person that plays an uncommon character uses their tricks. Right? I played against a Zelda recently. Game one, I'm like, what do I do? Okay, they're using Phantom. In these situations, okay, oh, they're doing this, combo on me constantly. Maybe I should try to DI out. And I lost game one, but in that game one, I learned, okay, this is the stuff that Zelda's fish for. This is the kind of things I didn't even know about the matchup. And then games 2 and 3, I three stocked the Zelda both times. I was like, okay, those are the tricks.
Yeah.
They never adapted because a lot of like the obscure characters really rely on those kind of gimmicks working. So if you can play it slow and figure out what they want to hit you with, and what the character is capable of, do so.
Yep. Cool. I think that wraps that up. Generic asks, what's the best way to deal with aggressive rage quitters or non-playful trash talkers in tournament? I've been in these moments a few times now and can only think to look away and keep quiet. It only gets me more anxious when other players make comments or praise me for what happened within earshot of my opponent. As someone who is also starting to run more events, I dread the thought of being the TO on standby for an incident like this and have no idea how to handle it. First off, awesome question. I think this is like something that's really important in starting to play competitive Smash, and a lot of people deal with this. So this is a really good point to bring up. Peon, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think this is a great question too, generic. As a TO, and even as a community member, let's assume it isn't your first or second tournament, right? And maybe you've been to that tournament series a few times where this rage quitter, non-playful trash talker has appeared, right? Um, do not be afraid to speak up. First of all, if someone's raging, usually it's self-directed. Usually people will be like, "Oh, damn it!" And they'll be all mad, and usually they're angry at themselves. They're angry at the game. They're not angry with you. If they are angry with you, then that's even more of a problem. But either way, it's unacceptable in my opinion. If you're going to be visibly angry, and if you're going to trash talk with people that clearly don't want to participate in trash talk, um, I think that you are a scumbag. I think that like Smash is a diverse scene. There's kids. There's There's adults. There's people that go to relax, and I'm a very competitive person. I like talking trash with my friends and stuff like that. But if people are being rude to you or to someone else, stand up to it, point it out, say, "Hey, man, that's not cool. We don't really tolerate that here." And be firm, be understanding, but be firm about it. Look, we don't do that here. That behavior is not cool. It's making us all feel comfortable, bro. Like, chill out, okay? You don't have to be all serious about it, but firm.
Yeah, yeah.
And especially if you're the TO, pull them aside and say, "Hey, look, your behavior is making everybody uncomfortable, myself included. We love having you here, but this needs to stop if you're going to keep coming to these tournaments because you're going to make other people not want to come." And give them an ultimatum. Say, if this behavior continues, you're not going to be welcome back. And that's what I would do. And if they continue it, then tell them they're not welcome back.
Yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of what you said there was good. I will say that there's a large majority of people that would have a lot of social anxiety when immediately dealing with these people, and wouldn't I think immediately be able to, in the situation, respond to the person that's kind of popping off and trash talking. There's one thing if they're just trash talking themselves and they're not really disturbing everyone, and maybe if they just kind of like scream a little and then run out of the venue. Those people, like, that's just, there's always going to be people like that. That's like, as long as they're not really disturbing, like, it's like they're not throwing their controllers and it's hitting you in the foot or like stuff like that. If they're really not disturbing the peace, then it's like that's kind of an issue that's harder to fix, because that's very endemic of just competitive stuff in general. But in terms of them affecting the environment around you, talk to the TO. It's like, I wouldn't necessarily confront them directly, because because I think for the majority of people, I think Peon is awesome at confronting people directly, and I think he's really like, he's someone that a lot of people look up to in terms of directly confronting people on their crap. But a lot of people can't, and that's okay. It's the TO's job, unfortunately, as I have dealt with in the past many times. And
Yeah,
I love that you brought up, like, the fact that I dread the thought of being the TO on standby for an incident like this, because I've been in that situation, and it's a learning experience. It's your responsibility. You have to treat it like an experience where, okay, I have to take responsibility and actually call this person out if because someone has complained to me, and you don't have a choice on it, and you grow as a person, and you kind of improve as a leader. I think those are some awesome situations to really kind of improve your leadership skills. Peon, I think you had something you wanted to add in there.
yeah. I just want to say, even if you do get socially anxious about these kind of encounters, I mean, I'm a confrontational person, but even I don't want to do it. But we've said it before. Smash is an opportunity for you to practice these skills. You know, beyond just enjoying the game and having fun with your friends, it puts you in these social scenarios where you can grow and take a risk, do something that you normally wouldn't. Next question is from Markai or Marke. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce it. Their question was very long, so we're just gonna ask the final part of it. What is your favorite character alt, AV?
What's my favorite character alt? I mean, other than the Joker alts, which all look really fantastic, I have a soft spot for the green Bayonetta color.
Wait.
All
What?
right, so
The green Bayonetta?
yes.
Oh, come on.
Okay, so
What?
about like a year and a half ago, I started going by this alter ego I called myself Serpent, and I only played green characters.
I wish you were lying, but no, that's the
It, it,
truth. I
it
was
was just
there.
some like stupid edgy joke that I just like I did with my friends, because I was just like I just wanted to play. I just wanted to randomly have a tag where I only played green characters, and for some reason,
Oh, but Serpent kicked ass
yeah,
though.
yeah. I mean, I'm honestly, Serpent's probably better than me, but but I think, but it was inspired by looking at Bayonetta's green character alt. So that's why I'll always have a soft spot. I mean, obviously purple DK, it's the canonical DK color, can't go wrong. Peon, what is your favorite character alt?
Yeah, that's a good question. I want to evaluate this not based on like a personal reason, but just on like what looks the coolest.
Mm-hmm.
So it's probably gonna be topless Shulk.
Okay. For some reason, I knew you were gonna say that.
No, no, no. If I'm being if I'm being honest, um, this is a good question. I really like the wedding Mario with the top hat from Mario
Okay.
Odyssey.
Yeah.
It looks so cool because it looks so distinct from his other
Mm-hmm.
outfits. Like that's exactly what I want out of alts in Smash. I wish that like it wasn't just recolors, but it was entirely different outfits, and that alt is a great example of that.
Yeah, I mean, if I've said this, Nintendo, and I'll say it again, you can make a crap ton of money selling alts to people. Like, you can sell alts for the same price as DLC characters and like make so much money.
Dude, why do they sell me outfits?
It's so bad.
When they could just sell like if they made a skin where Cloud has a lightsaber and they sold it for $5, they would literally make like $10 million.
Yeah, it's actually
But they're like,
insane.
you know what? Let's make a me hat where you could be a puppy. Like, what are you doing?
And have you seen the Tails and Knuckles me outfits? They look so bad. They look so bad.
It's so creepy, dude.
It's so weird.
Oh, it looks like a man in cold blood in the middle of the night ripped open our good old friends Tails, Miles, and Knuckles.
Miles
No.
Prowler.
Yeah, Tails, Miles per hour,
Or Prowler.
and Knuckles. What is it? Knuckles the
His
Echidna?
last name Joe
Does
or
he even have a
something? I
last name?
forgot.
Knuckles
Wait,
Joe?
no, that's different. That's
Either
Knuckle
way,
Joe.
it looked like a me ripped them open in the middle of the night and then wore their skins like Buffalo Bill. It's
Yeah, it's
terrifying.
awful. Reminds me of like a really like low effort Comic-Con costume.
Like some baby's first cosplay convention.
Oh man.
All right, AV. Well, I think that's about all the time we have left for this week. Thank you for joining me as always. And where could people find you?
People can find me on Twitter at A plus my long Indian last name. That's A Vaidyanatha. And maybe I'll spell it out for you. It's AVAIDYANATHA for all you Presbyterians.
And you can of course find me at peon_GCE. That's Golf Charlie Echo for all you Frenchmen. And of course you can find our show at Beyond Metagame. That's right, Beyond Metagame. Twitter did not give us any room for the, so it's just Beyond Metagame. And of course, you can find both AV and I at our Discord, which will be in the notes below. AV and I are both fiends. We're always in there talking to some good lads. It's a great place to be, great place to play some games, great place to learn about the game, and all around have a good time. But that's all we have this week. Thank you so much for listening, and goodbye.